Welcome to the In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We're thrilled to have you join us for this special event where we celebrate the journeys of ambitious entrepreneurs who have turned their visions into reality. Join us every Tuesday as we spotlight incredible clients who have navigated the entrepreneurial landscape and emerged victorious. Each session is more than just a conversation. It's an opportunity to learn firsthand from business owners who have faced challenges, embraced innovation, and achieved remarkable success. Whether you're launching a startup, scaling your business, or refining your strategy, these webinars will provide you with practical advice and real-world knowledge to guide your path forward. Stay engaged and get ready to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit. This is your chance to connect, learn, and grow with a community of like-minded visionaries. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our host for this powerful series, Mr. Christian Johnson, the Chief Strategist Officer of In the Beginning Incubator. As a seasoned business strategist and mentor, Mr. Johnson has played a pivotal role in guiding entrepreneurs through the complexities of business ownership. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christian Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Hello, ITB family. Thank you for joining us today. Today is November. Last time we spoke to you all, it was October, but it is now November. It is November 4th, Election Day for our states across the United States. I know Virginia and I had family in Georgia voting, in New Jersey and New York and all across the country. California, everywhere has got something going on. So today's Election Day, and we want to thank you all for joining us today. We have a repeat of last week. We had to come back and had to do a wraparound because the Wi-Fi was going crazy, and I felt like this information was important and we need to get it out there. But we have Miss FJ with FJM Insurance Services, and I just want to let her introduce herself. So please introduce yourself.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is FJ McDougall, and I'm an insurance broker, but also the owner of FJM Insurance Services. Actually started that service a couple years ago, and primarily work with folks, seniors, but we also do things with life insurance needs as well. So that's the bulk of what my business entails.
And that's what we're going to talk about, and we're going to have that whole conversation pretty much over again. So let's just start back from how we started last time. So tell us about how you got introduced to the incubator and how you found us or how we found you.
Sure, yeah. So I had returned from Georgia here, was in Georgia for maybe a 6-month period of time, and decided at that time that I wanted to get back into insurance and needed some guidance. So I found you guys and reached out. And at the time, I had rented an office space, and you and everyone, staff, helped me really get started with developing a website and just really from the ground up. And that's kind of how this business actually got started, through your services, you guys' services.
Right. We were at, like I said last time, we were at Moorfield Park, and you were a tenant there. I had posted a Facebook ad requesting somebody to want to be in the office. I don't think at the time it was just an office space. You didn't know about the full scope of the incubator.
Right.
Yeah, it was just the office space.
And you came
in and we got you the lease and you signed it, and we got you in there. And we did, like you said, we did everything. We would do. I had I think the business cards,
business plan.
We did, I had with the website. It helps you some different other options and stuff. So we help with a lot, and you've been on board ever since. And you've been here, and this is a good space and good solid ground, and we appreciate you sticking with us and moving forward with us. And I'm pretty sure it's like you said, it's the same feelings. The feeling is mutual.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's get started. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, into the things that we talked about, and let's dissect some of the things we talked about last week. So tell us what a broker, as a broker, what your job is and what your responsibilities are.
So as a broker, basically my job, particularly when it comes with Medicare, is sitting down with a person. Either we can do it over the phone or go to that person's home, wherever they feel comfortable, and doing what we call a need analysis. And in that need analysis, what I'm doing is I'm taking down the medications that a person actually are taking, the doctors, their specialists, their preference of hospital, and gathering that information, because if a person wants to make a change to their plan, that information is pertinent. Um, and then from there is making that, helping them make a smooth transition to another plan that may be in their best interest. This year is a very unique year because a lot of plans are going away. And a lot of people, as of December 31st, will not have a plan. So this year is very, very critical that people, there's a notice that got out called the annual notice of change. In that, it's important that people look at that because it's going to tell you about any changes that are going on with your particular plan, or if you're not going to have a plan. So I can't stress that more.
Right. And with everything that is going on in the government currently, with
Mm-hmm.
that benefits and the, like we said, the ACA tax
Mm-hmm.
subsidies, all of that. So I just tore my ACL. I tore my ACL,
Okay.
my meniscus,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the first things the doctor said, everybody's trying to get surgeries and get everything
Yeah.
done before the new year, because people
Mm-hmm.
are losing their health
The
care
tax credit, right.
and the
Mm-hmm.
tax credit, but also the deductibles. They have
Mm-hmm.
to they're gonna have to pay their deductibles at the beginning of the next year. I think that's how,
Right. Right.
so, and hit their deductibles. It's already end of the year, so we've already met ours, so it's okay for me to get my surgery and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he even said that
Mm-hmm.
is a thing, that everybody's getting all these surgeries and getting all this medical stuff done that they have to get because they're worried about losing it. That is a
Right.
very scary place to be in. That is a very
Mm-hmm.
scary. And if you're a healthy person, then I guess you don't have to work. But I'm young, and
Mm-hmm.
I would consider myself healthy. I don't have. I'm not on a bunch of medications, but
Right.
what happened to me, it happened. So I
Right.
can only imagine for other people who have the same situation or maybe in different situations, but they're going to completely lose their health care coverage.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. And
Very devastating.
your role as a broker is to kind of help them understand everything that is going on and also get them on the best the plan that
Right.
covers them. So
Right. Correct.
so tell us a little bit about these plans and your process to getting somebody on the perfect healthcare plan, and type of feeding questions that you might ask, or things that you're looking for as far as age. If they tell you that they have a certain health problem, if they tell you they wear eyeglasses, you're going to put them on a certain package versus another one. So tell us
Mm-hmm.
about your process.
So it depends on what the plan, what type of coverage they're looking for. So if you're talking in regards to a Medicare Advantage plan, that plan actually has everything. It has a drug, it has vision, it has hearing, and then it has their main component, which is the Medicare coverage, medical coverage. If you're talking about someone that's maybe self-employed and maybe need a ACA product, a medical product, which is Obamacare, better known as Obamacare, Affordable Care Act is the proper name for it, then that depends. Some people don't want vision, dental, and hearing. They just strictly want a medical plan. So the need analysis is where I find out, what are you looking for? What type of deductible are you looking to pay? Are you looking to pay for co-insurance? Are you looking for a plan that can cover doctors that are outside the network? So it's just it's imperative that a series of questions are actually asked. among, people that I assist.
And with the people that you do assist, I know we talked about Medicaid and Medicare. So
Mhm.
for elderly individuals, is it the same process, or is it a little bit different for individuals who are looking for Medicaid?
So that process is a little different. Most people qualify for Medicare at the age of 65. Some people qualify for Medicare if they have some form of disability, so they may qualify prior to age 65. When they qualify, they basically have what we call Part A and Part B. Part B, there is a premium that's affiliated with that. And most people don't even, people do know that they pay, but some people I've run into don't even realize that they're paying their Part B premium, because if they get Social Security, it's taken out of their Social Security check before they even get their money. So basically, I'm trying to find out, do they want a Medicare Advantage plan, or do they want to keep their original Medicare and add a supplement plan to that? So we go through those process and steps to determine, what they're looking for.
Okay. This is all good to know, because I'm still on my dad's insurance. So all I know is I need to go to the doctor. I'm gonna get taken care of.
You're gonna take
all that, because to me it's like,
you're fortunate.
right, shopping for insurance is just like, oh my gosh, like that seems it seems very difficult. It's just like almost like shopping for a car. It sounds like a lot for.
Yeah. And this year, because of all the changes, it is more chaotic than it probably has been. I've spoken to an agent that's been in the business for years, and had said that this year was probably the most confusing year for people that have Medicare, or even have the ACA, have Obamacare, because of all the changes that are affiliated with these programs.
Yeah, and it is really unfortunate. So I've been seeing a lot of people say, "Oh, my premiums are going up. My premiums are gonna go up."
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me what a premium is, and
Mm-hmm.
what is causing it to go. Is the premium going up because people are losing their coverage completely, or what is caused? Obviously, the president is causing what he's doing right now is going to cause it. But is it the fact that people are losing coverage is making other people's premiums go up? What is the cause to that?
Well, that's a loaded question, because there's a lot of areas. If you're referring to people that are on the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, their premiums are going up because they're going to be losing the tax credit as of December 31st, unless they come to a meeting of the minds. And that's huge for a lot of people, because someone that's looking for, like I have a family of 3, husband, wife, and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Their premium right now, as it speaks, is $132 a month. $832 a month.
Mm-hmm.
As of January 1, if their tax credit isn't passed, it will go up to over $2,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's a month. So that is some of the things that people are actually seeing. When it comes to Medicare coverage, a lot of people will see their Part B premium potentially go up. They don't necessarily may see a monthly premium. Most of those Medicare Advantage plans do not come with a monthly premium. But if you have just your original Medicare, when you kept your Part A and B and got a supplement plan, the supplement plan tends to go up each year. So they will probably see an increase in their supplement plan that they have with their original Medicare Part A and B.
Okay, that is a lot to. I guess that was a sort of loaded question, because it's a lot of different factors.
And here's the thing: not only so, some people say, "Well, I have coverage with my employer."
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Those plans could potentially go up too, because you think of the people that are on a Obamacare and can't afford it. They get
And that,
sick, they go to the hospital.
right.
So
And
guess what? That
that's what
cost is done. Somebody's got to pay for that cost. So guess what? Even the employer's coverage are going to go up.
go up. So that was my question. That was the concern, because obviously the tax credits for ACA, but for people who are on private insurance, like you said, through their employers, why are their premiums going up? And you just explained their premiums going up because their employers have to pay more,
Right.
and so their premiums are going to go up. So it's just a whole trickle down effect.
It's a domino effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody will be affected, whether you have private insurance with an employer, whether you have the ACA because you're not getting a tax credit, whether you're on Medicare because your Part B premium is going up. Yes.
Okay. So
everyone is going to be impacted by what's going on. Yes.
That's my dog going barking. But that makes sense, because I've been seeing a lot on social media about people saying my premium's going up. I'm like, wait, you're not on, you have your own insurance, you have your own private insurance. So it's interesting, because my father's insurance this year, they changed plans, they changed from Cigna to Anthem at the beginning. So I think they had known that
Right.
something like this was going to come down and happen after the election. And I just don't understand why, from your experience, and this is a political, and it is a Tuesday, it is a election Tuesday, and I was telling Ms. Johnson, I don't want to be too political and talk too much about politics, but why would that not be something? What are the negatives to the Affordable Care Act? Now, I've heard arguments about universal health care, and this is the first type of form of universal health care that we've seen in America. What is so negative about it that when Republicans debate, they talk about, I understand because it's Obama, like I understand they get mad at Obama and stuff like that. From your experience, are there any negatives to ACA? What are the negatives to it? Or
well, overall, no. It's a pretty solid plan. Can it have some improvement? Of course, but that's pretty much any plan. Whether you have your private plan with the employer, whether you Medicare plan, or so. Most of it is just, a lot of it is just a political reason behind it. Who started it? Who created this plan? That president is no longer in office, but we still consider that plan the Obamacare plan. So a lot of that is really political reasons, because if you think about it this way, had that plan not been in existence, think about so many people that are self-employed or just in between jobs, and they need coverage, or can't afford a COBRA. That plan really was needed, and it needed to be passed.
So we had another question. Somebody asked, what are the tiers of insurance? So what different tiers are there in insurance? I think these are insurance coverages. Are there different tiers to insurance?
So insurance, now the insurance companies have ratings, rating from, if you have a 1, you're not even in existence. The highest rating is a 5, and that's something you want to look at. That's one of the things when I talk with someone about a plan, one of the things I do go over is their ratings. Most plans are in that 4, 5 rating score. Now, if you're talking about tiers typically refer to medication. You have medication that are on tiers, particularly medication with dealing with Medicare plans. The lower the tier of the medication, the lower cost the medication will cost. For tiers at a 4 or 5, then you're going to pay quite a bit more money for that particular medication. So your medications are typically on tiers.
So for individuals who have disabilities, is
Mhm.
there's a different type of insurance? Because is there different? I guess for so I'm trying to ask in the right way, but is there different types of insurance coverages for specifically for individuals with disabilities that require more medication for their disability, or is it all pretty much
It's
this?
pretty much the same. Usually, typically, if a person has a disability, they most likely have Medicare, or they have, it depends on their income, they may have Medicare and Medicaid. So they
Okay,
may have a combination depending on their income. But if someone is actually disabled and receiving medical service, typically they're probably on Medicare.
Medicare. Okay, and
Mhm.
that doesn't the age doesn't it does the age come into factor at that point? Can you be 25 and be on Medicare and
Yeah.
have a disability? Okay.
Yeah, if you have a disability, yes, because Medicare is primarily for people that are 65 years or older, or if they're younger, they have a qualifying disability to be on Medicare.
Okay. And that's for somebody that's not employed that is getting Medicare. And you said potentially a combination of Medicaid as well.
So Medicaid and Medicare, someone has Medicaid and Medicare. Well, someone has Medicaid. That's basically based a lot on income.
Okay.
Um, so if you fall below a certain level of income, you could potentially qualify for Medicaid.
Hmm. Okay.
And yeah,
Okay. That is good. This is all good solid information. So for somebody that is coming to you to get their services and they already have a plan, what are you looking for as far as to change their plan, or what is somebody from your experience, what is something that somebody should look at now when they're looking at plans and looking at potential different plans or looking to change their health care insurance? What is something that they should look at and notice first? How do you analyze that first?
well, one of the things, and that's why you want to have a broker that's worth their salt, okay, that's knowledgeable,
Mhm.
especially now, because I'll give you a prime example. Humana is still in existence.
Mhm.
However, Humana, as of December 31st, unless Humana and Bonsa Corp comes with a meeting of the minds, they will not have a contract. So
Right.
if
So
someone has
cover
Humana, I'm sorry.
right. I said so the Humana, if you're in the Humana system, but I'm gonna let you keep explaining it. Keep
Yeah.
explaining it.
So yeah. So if you have a Humana plan that's pretty much affiliated with Medicare, and if you have that plan, Humana and Bon Secours, as of December 31st, will no longer have a contract. Now, they're trying to work something out, but letters have already gone out to clients saying, hey, December 31st, if you go to a Bon Secours facility or you use a Bon Secours doctor,
They're
that
not
service is not going to be covered.
right.
So that's something that a person, if they were searching on their own, may not have that knowledge about.
Right.
United Healthcare and VCU do not have a contract. So if you have United Healthcare and you decide to go down to VCU, you're going to be getting a bill in the mail because they do not have a contract.
Mhm. And that's interesting to say, because I think that's what when my father's insurance changed, they were worried about my mom because my mom has MS. She
Mhm,
has a specialty doctor for
mhm,
her MS, and he's in the Innova system. He's in Innova. He's in and they had a contract with Cigna had a contract with Philip Morris. That was the company.
mhm,
But they, like you just said, they couldn't come up with an agreement, so they ended up switching to Anthem. Now,
mhm,
the good thing is, Anthem is still covered under Bon Secours and
mhm.
covered with
Right.
Innova as well. But
Right.
it was when this change happened, we had all these questions like, is he still under their systems? This is our primary care doctor that we've been going to for all my life still
Uh-huh.
under the same system as for the coverage for the insurance. So
Right.
that is something I didn't know that, and I
Yeah.
know I've seen them and they be having tables and stuff set up.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know anybody on that plan, but anybody watching and looking, tell
Yeah.
your and they already got a letter. Tell people, because
Yeah.
the worst thing you want to do is go to a hospital and then
Right.
find out you just ain't getting paid for
Right. You're not
gonna
getting, you're
pay
right.
out of pocket for it.
Exactly. And that is, come January, there are going to be a lot of people that are not going to have coverage because the insurance companies are only required to send you a letter in the mail. And most people, seniors, whoever, they see it as junk mail. It's like, I get to it and they push it to the side.
Exactly. Or they may not
And
even receive it.
right, right. But they are required to give that one notice that whether your insurance is changing, whether the coverage is no longer going to be in existence. And the worst thing you want is come January 1, you stepping in a hospital somewhere and you have no coverage.
That is the worst thing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's at this track and the way things are going, that's what's going to happen. And
Right.
they keep saying 42 million people are going to lose healthcare
Their
coverage.
benefit. They're going to lose their benefit. Yes. I've been working a lot down in the Tidewater area. Centera is pretty huge down there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Centera decided to end coverage for people other than if you had a dual plan, and a dual plan is basically Medicaid and Medicare plan. That's a dual plan. Everybody else they got rid of. So all those people, if they have a Centera plan,
Right.
but they do not have Medicaid and Medicare. They just have a strict Medicare product. They will not have coverage as of January 1. So I've been down there a lot trying to get people covered, telling people, you got a letter in the mail, you need to read it, or you need to try to get on another plan. And the sad thing about that is when they have to change plans, a lot of their doctors are not in any of the plans that you're putting them in.
Right.
So, that's a lot what's going on there.
If they're anything like, again, our family doctor has been my sister's family. For my sister, she was born 10 years before me. She was my mom's doctor. She's my dad's doctor.
Oh, Lord.
All of our he's been all of our doctors since I was born. Our primary care, he's been all of our doctors since they moved here and I was born. And it's just he's affiliated with Bon Secours, and that is scary for somebody a family doctor. And I'm even learning about family. I didn't even know about this until I went on a tour to a pharmacy school, but family pharmacists as well. You have family pharmacists that work with people that are covered as well, and they have pharmacists, and they're not covered under certain under Bon Secours. Their insurance may not cover Bon Secours anymore. So it's just like that change take up so much for people.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't just afford it, like I can understand if you just can afford it at your own pocket, or you're working with your employer and your employer has something. But even with my dad's employer, we still have to pay for my mother's medication. We still have to pay in a certain deductible.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to last year.
Right.
And it's more. And the thing is, and we didn't have to pay it because there were things in place for my mother for her MS. She had like MS Lifeline, but as soon as the government changed over and Donald Trump took over, all of that stuff just MS Lifeline is just disconnected. It says it's permanently closed online.
Mm-hmm.
year. So we didn't have to pay that. They had a credit card online for my mom for them to pay that, for her to pay
Right.
that. Now we have to pay that cash
Mm-hmm.
ourselves for
Right.
my mom to make sure she could get her medicine.
Medicine. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm hearing that. I'm witnessing that. And this is just the start, unfortunately.
It's very shameful, and it's very disappointing because I was out there today at the polls and talking to people, and people are very scared, and I feel like they should be, but it's not like we didn't tell them. I mean, it was it's not like nobody told them.
It's not like the president didn't tell them.
Exactly. It's not like nobody told them that it wasn't like a whole book, Project 2025, that didn't say we're going to defund this mental health care.
Right. Right.
Department of Education. We're going to do all
Right.
this. Like nobody thought that. So we also talked about last time the life insurance policies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into that side more. Now another question is, for the life insurance, can you get a life insurance and a health insurance policy bundled together? Is that possible?
It's possible, but it probably wouldn't be something you want to probably do because they're two different products. And they do two different things.
Right.
Life insurance basically is going to cover in the event you pass away. So yeah. And then there's different levels of life insurance. There's term insurance, there's whole life insurance, there's universal insurance. It's just different, depends on what you want. And once again, that's where that need analysis comes into play.
Right.
To determine, how much coverage you need and which plan you want to, whether you want to go a whole life policy, whether you want to go with a term policy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So tell us a little bit about those three different options. You said life. Somebody would say, yes, I was going to ask about that for life, the whole life insurance. So tell us about the difference between term life, whole life insurance, and the three that you just specified.
Yeah, sure. So a whole life policy, it costs a little more because it covers you 100. You can be 100 years old and still whoever's the beneficiary can actually get the money, if you will. A term policy, there are different levels. You can get a 10-year level term policy. You can get a 20-year. You can get a 30-year. And basically what it is, a lot of people get term insurance because it's a lot cheaper. And you can get more for your money. The problem with the term policy is just that. If you have let's say you're 30 years old and you do a 30-year term policy, at 60, that policy, it depends on what's in the clause, it may end, or you may have to renew it at age 60. So where you were paying at 30 for maybe a $500,000 policy, let's say you were paying, I don't know, $50. Now, if it renews at 60, for that $500,000, you may be paying $300-400 a month.
Because you're 60.
Because you're of that age, right? So that's something.
Like I'm in school right now. I got it right. I got the answer right.
Yeah, term is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but you also want to, if you're going to go with a term policy, you want to also have at least a whole life policy with it. Maybe not as much. Maybe get a whole life. If you got, let's say, $1 million term policy, you may want to get a $50,000 whole life policy to help bury you and take care of some final expenses.
Mm-hmm.
As you age, you typically don't need as much insurance because hopefully you don't have as much debt. You're not leaving behind. Right. So when you're younger, you got homes, you got cars, you got kids going to college, so you're going to need more. So that's where that term policy in that period of time would be needed in the event something happens to you during that time. But then you want to have that whole life policy, maybe not as much, but to cover when you're 60, 65, that $50,000 to kind of take care of some of those final expenses.
Okay. So with that, are there any like when you get in a term policy versus a full life, somebody should you also add on accidental and death too?
Accidental. So that depends. Accidental, and they consider those as riders. Some people want it, but if you think about it, most people, not to say it can't happen because none of us know how we're going to die, but most people typically don't die from an accident. Most don't. But it depends on how much it costs and what you're willing to pay for it. It's really answer.
Is a car if you die in a car accident, is that not considered an accident, or
that would be considered accident? So anything you died from, if you fell off a ladder and died, or you drowned or got shot, accident. But some people want a rider for that, and usually the riders aren't as very expensive. So it just really kind of depends on the person.
Okay. To get that accidental death on there. So that's not already automatically covered under a life insurance policy?
Yes, it is. But what happens is when you put a rider on it, it may like double the amount that you receive.
So if you die,
right. So if you had a 500,000 whole life policy and you put an accident rider on there, and that person died, but they died from an accident, instead of receiving $500,000, they may receive $1 million because it may double.
Does that make your monthly payments go up?
Yes, they're there because there's an additional charge for the rider.
Okay, all right, and that's just on the happenstance that you die in that accidental way.
Right. It has to be an accident.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. For people, it sounds crazy because it sounds like that to me is just that's an accident, and then the whole time this accident, it's not an accident, it's a whole scheme.
Right.
But yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know about that part. But so your process for getting somebody on life insurance is the same process for and I'll get into that next, but what the question y'all asking about and right there, the same process when you analyze life insurance policy, you come about it the same way you do your health insurance policy. You look at what their age is, you look at what they're looking for, and you pretty much tell them to pick the best plan for them. Is that the same process?
So yeah, I always start out with a need analysis. That's the best. I mean, whether it's a life insurance policy that you're looking for, whether it's Medicare, ACA, I always start out with that need analysis. Because that's going to tell not only you, but them, because some people don't even know when it comes to life how much they really need or want. They may say, I only need $250,000, but when they factor in the cost of their home, the kids going to college, things that they don't kind of think about, they may realize that, no, this $250,000 is nothing compared to what I actually need. Right. So then we start with what they need. And if that is too expensive, then we start backing it up. Right. But we want to start where they really are fully covered.
Right. So somebody asked about the creating a family trust. When you are creating a family trust, which should you use, term or whole life insurance?
Probably whole life. Probably whole life. Okay. Whole life.
And when you're setting up your life insurance, how is there? Because I had another question on here. Whole life, when you're setting up for your business and you're setting up your life insurance to set in your trust for a family company, how would that? Is there a different process for that for a business, a family run business? Is there something different for that?
There is, and I'm very transparent. I don't know a whole lot about that component of it, but there
Okay.
is a process that that you want to make sure that, number one, if you're looking to pass the business on to your children, or if yeah, there's a process, but I'm not well versed in that because that's not my expertise, if you will.
Okay. That's no problem. So when somebody passes away, um,
Mhm.
from your actual work and from your understanding what you've experienced, how long does it typically take for them to pay out for the life insurance? How long does it take for the beneficiary to receive their payment?
Their payment. If it's cut and dry, whereas, and what I mean by that, if it was a murder of some sort, or they're suspicious about something, they may delay the process.
Right.
But basically, if it's someone that was, let's say they were just old or they were sick, you should receive probably that check within a couple weeks. It shouldn't be any longer. And some of them is even faster than that, but the norm is maybe 2 weeks.
Okay. This is all good to know, and I'm hoping people are taking notes because I know that we were discussing taking out some life insurance policies on some of our family and setting up a trust. So
Mhm.
my next question: are there any type of tax deductibles or anything like that for life insurance, or are there any type of programs, something for life insurance policies? Or I know not if, like you said, you're not versed in it for business, but there are
Mhm.
any type of incentives or anything like that for life insurance that when you're looking at life insurance policies, people should be aware of.
No, not really. But as it's one thing that's a plus, it hasn't changed yet, and there's no taxes on that money.
So you're just getting
So
that cash. You're getting not well cash. You're just
right,
getting it straight up.
right, right,
Okay.
right. So that as it stands for now at
It's
this
a
moment.
$500 if you get a $500,000 life insurance policy, you're expected is the insurance company you're already paying it. You're paying the insurance company. Are there any
Mhm.
fees associated with that? Like uh um
Yeah.
so they just
And
give you
with most of them, no, they are actually they'll give the complete 500,000.
okay.
You actually receive that. Yes.
And that's not taxed. That's another
No.
another point for people to know. It's not taxable. I did not know that
Nope.
it was
Nope.
not
Mm-mm.
um taxable. Um so what if somebody has term um they have a term policy. Well, I guess if something happens to them and within that term policy, they would still get the coverage. So is there a certain time frame if you get life insurance policy today and you
Mhm.
die
Mhm.
you die on Friday,
Mhm.
what is that? Does that policy still can you get paid out for that policy? Can your beneficiaries get paid out for that policy?
In most situations, they do, but there
That's
are now if there's a series of questions that you have to that are asked on a life insurance policy,
mhm.
and it depends on how much coverage you're getting. And some of those questions will be health related. So let's say someone has cancer, and they're trying to get even $100,000 policy. There's going to be a series of underwriting questions that are going to be asked. It may ask you, have you been in a hospital in the last year? Have you been diagnosed with cancer in the last 5 years or 3 years? It's
Mhm.
going to ask those series of questions. So if that person says no, but they die with cancer, the most they're going to get is probably their premium that they paid into the policy.
So if they hadn't even paid into the policy, then they're not gonna get.
No, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Okay. That's
Because then that keeps people from getting diagnosed with an illness and then running to get an insurance policy.
right.
So there's going to be some series of questions, health questions. Some people may not even qualify for a policy because of health issues that they have, or it could be their age. and they have health issues. So that's
So
why it's so important that you get a policy, relatively when you're young, because it's not going to cost as much, and you're relatively healthy.
right. So what for your as a broker and your specifically in your industry, which companies are the companies that you probably refer? Like when you're looking at plans, who would you refer for a plan? Not saying again that anybody can contact you, and I got your contact information up here. Again, if you need a broker, again, there's contact information, and again, Miss FJ is at all. She's at our events. She comes into the office, so if you need these services, she's here to give these services, obviously. But for somebody that is you got DIY people, which companies are gonna be those good companies to look at and say, oh, these are companies that you work with, these are companies that you've referred, and to get life insurance policies? Which companies would those be, or one of them?
Well, one I deal a lot of business with is called GT Guarantee. Oh God, I just can't remember the GTI is the company that I do a lot of business with them. Very good company, very solid company. One of the things you want to look at, as I said before earlier, you want to make sure that their rating, if their rating is under a 4, run. Because that
At a 5?
If their rating is a 3, I'll be a little leery. 4 and over.
Okay.
4 and 5s, 4.5, 5s. That's where you want to stay with. So when you're looking for a life insurance, if you're out here doing some Google and you're looking for a company, you're going to want to see how long they've been in business. You want to see their rating, that their rating. If they're under a 4.5, really, you really want to think seriously whether or not that's a company you want to, because you want to think about it. If something happens, you want to make sure you get paid.
Right.
So if they don't have a very good rating, yes, if they don't have a very good rating, that would not be a company that I would recommend.
I got another question. This is a sidebar, and I've heard people say this a lot, and I don't want to be disingenuous asking this question because your whole job is based off of insurance. But do you think insurance is a scam?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I know that's crazy to ask, but I hear a lot of people.
No. I think there is a need for it. I really do, because you think about it. If particularly life insurance, husband and wife married, husband works, wife works. Okay, husband loses the wife loses the husband. Okay, and he's making, let's say, I don't know, $80,000 a year. Okay, she's now down. He's making 80. She's maybe making 50. She's losing $80,000 worth of insurance. Now they may have some money for savings, may have a little money, but how far is she? That's going to be a big cut. So if you got a whole life policy, she has a whole life policy on her husband for $750,000. It helps her stay afloat. She's still probably going to have to cut back, because guess what? She's lost that $80,000 a year income coming into that home. But to get a check for $750,000, if she manages it right and invests it right, she can still stay afloat. So there is a need for it. Yeah.
Especially car insurance too. Car insurance is the same, because if you get into an accident, like, don't nobody want to pay for a whole car to get fixed.
Right, right.
It's good to have insurance there, and insurances. So that I thank you for answering that question. Again, I didn't want to sound disingenuous, because that is what your job is.
Yeah, no. And I'm very transparent. I'm the type of person that I tell the pros, but I also tell the cons. tell both sides of it. Because you're dealing with a person's livelihood, you're dealing with, do the right thing is what my belief is.
Right. All right. We got about 10 minutes, and I got a few more questions I'm gonna ask, and then we're gonna end the live here. And this was a lot. This is why I wanted to have this conversation again, because I knew we were a really good conversation, and I was frustrated again. Satan was trying to mess with the Wi-Fi last week. He ain't got it today, thank the Lord. But my next question is: so, what are the most common mistakes when people are looking for insurance? And obviously, again, you're at the table for them to not run into any mistakes. I just want to preface that. But for people who are looking for their own insurance coverages and not able to maybe afford your services, what are the most common mistakes that you see people make? They get something done and then they kind of come to you to fix it, or before they even come to you, they just did something and it ain't right. What is the most for health insurance, and then we'll get into life insurance?
Basically looking at that 800 number on the TV and calling that number because they said they're going to give them a grocery card, and they get to call them and they say, no, ma'am, that plan that we have there, you don't qualify, but we got this plan for you. And they put them in that plan, and that plan that they put them in was the wrong plan for them. So now they calling me crying because the doctors are not in the plan. They can't get the medications that they're in. And so, yes.
So don't call the 800 number.
Don't call that 800 number. No. Now that plan that they're showing is legit. That is a plan that they have. But most people that call that number do not qualify for that plan. So they'll tell you, unfortunately, yes, that plan is existence, but you don't qualify. But we have this plan we can put you in.
And they're gonna be
in that plan. And that plan may not be the best plan for them because they haven't asked them about their doctors. They haven't asked them about their prescription drugs. They haven't answered. They just showing them a plan that, hey, your PCP is going to be zero copayment. And if you go to the specialist, it may be $5.
Right. Because then they got to go to CVS, and then they got to argue with the pharmacist technician.
Right. So that's where I see people coming and crying, and and it's okay. We're human. If I see it on TV, I look at it like, wow, but because I'm in the business, I realize what that is all about. But yeah, that's one of the things that I see.
And on health insurance, what do you see in that on that side?
On health insurance, or life insurance?
I mean, life insurance for the state. Life insurance.
Life insurance. People wants the cheapest that's out there. Oh, it's going to cost me $1 a day. You see those commercials a lot of times when they talk about seniors. Oh, it's cost you $1 a day or 50 cents and guaranteed issue. Well, they're talking about maybe maybe $2,500 coverage, guaranteed. But it's maybe about $2,500 worth of coverage. You want to make sure that you're talking with someone that you feel that you can trust, that is really listening to your needs, not their needs, but listening to your needs, and making those right decisions. Though the biggest thing is that need analysis. That is so critical that's done. Yeah. So I've seen a lot.
Right. How often should somebody, how often do they need to review their plans, or how often do you typically review people's plans that are your clients?
I review their plans once a year, at least minimum once a year. Okay. Just before open enrollment, annual enrollment. And then I'll call them. If I see something that has changed, I will let you know there is a change here. Anthem is no longer going to be with VCU. That's not the case, but I'm just saying a drastic change to that person. I am on that phone with them, letting them be aware of that.
Okay. I think that to me in my head seems like, oh. Look, what happened? I didn't hear that. Yeah, I think we lost her there. Your phone died, I'm assuming.
It did. It did. I said, oh no. Yeah. My apologies, everybody.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. Let me minimize that there. It died. We're thinking like, did she go? What happened to her?
Oh gosh.
You are good. We're gonna wrap it up anyways. We're good. Did you have any closing, anything else? Any last tips, anything else that you going into this season, into this fall season, into the winter season, anything we should be on the lookout? Again, I didn't want to get too political on here since it is election day, and I could grill the White House and the ballroom and the whole everything that's going on right now.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
But, yeah, give us your last statements, anything you wanted to add on there.
So I think my biggest thing is anyone that has Medicare, these are tough times right now, and they are, but you know what? We're going to get through it. I honestly believe that. If you have an agent and they're not talking with you, they're not communicating with you, you may want to consider getting someone else, because there's so many changes out here that it's even harder for good agents to really keep up with. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that.
Right.
And that's pretty much what I wanted to end with.
And as you were saying, I was putting your information up. So if you want to contact Miss FJ, you can contact her at info@fjminsuranceservices.com. You can also visit her website at fjminsuranceservices.com. And you can give her a call at 804-944-6960. She is here to help you get your coverage.
One last thing I do want to say, and some people will say, well, I'm not going to call her because that's going to cost me. I get paid, but it costs you nothing for me to work on your behalf. My pay comes from the government. So, but I wanted to put that out there because a lot of people say, well, if I use someone and all she's doing, how is, I don't want to pay for that. It is no cost to you to use my services.
Right. So everybody that is in uncharted territory with these life insurance policies, or if you know that your health insurance is you're going to lose coverage, or your premiums are going to go up and you need to do something, be proactive rather than being reactive. Get on it now and contact Miss FJ. Again, she's already told you how her services are covered. Please contact her because she's here to help you, whatever age you're in, whatever race, creed, and ethnicity you are. She's here to help you. I know she's helped people and helping people all the time, and helping elderly people a lot. So if you know that these issues are for you, or that these issues are going to affect somebody else that you might know, which I think we can all at least point at one person and say, oh, this is going to affect you. Then they need to contact Miss FJ. Again, her number is 804-944-6960. Please give her a reach out. And again, if you want to come into the office, her business cards are in the office. She's at events with us, and she comes into the office every now and then. So please contact her, because this is very important. And I wanted to have this conversation again for people to know and understand the process for health insurance and life insurance. With that being said, I thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you. I appreciate it for joining on. This is going to be on our YouTube page and on our Facebook page for people to go back and watch live. And Miss FJ, if you want to send this out live, I'll send you the link too for you to share it out.
Okay, perfect.
For I don't know if you're training or anything like that, and you just want to get snippets of it and post it on your social media, I'll send that to you as well.
Okay.
But This is our Tuesday live. Next Tuesday, I think we might have a live next Tuesday. I have to double check with Sharon and see if we got anybody on the calendar. If not, we're good. But if we do, we'll be back here again next Tuesday at 7 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be on with whatever guests we're on next week. And if you need any business services, please give us a call at 804-468-8141 or email us at info@inthebeginningcode.com. We are here to help you start your business just like Miss FJ. Through our incubator, working with us, you can be just like her in your trade, in your field, in your whatever your service is. We can help you start your business and get it moving forward. So thank you, Miss FJ, again for joining.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Great rest of your night, and thank you all for tuning in. You all have a great rest of your week, and give us a call.
All righty. Thank you. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for today's In the Beginning Incubator webinar. We hope you found inspiration, valuable insights, and practical strategies to apply to your own entrepreneurial journey. But the learning doesn't stop here. We invite you to join us again next Tuesday for another powerful session where we'll continue to spotlight incredible entrepreneurs and share knowledge that can help take your business to the next level. If you enjoyed today's webinar and found it valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Spread the word. Let others know what you learned and invite a friend, colleague, or fellow entrepreneur to join us next Tuesday. Once again, we appreciate you for being part of the In the Beginning Incubator community. Keep striving, keep growing, and we'll see you next Tuesday.